from a 979 area code. I might take it if someone pays me to take it.
Oh, that's actually not a bad idea.
Yep, that might be
all
a
get
bonus.
Sam,
We should do a
Hi,
segment.
who's this?
This is Kyle.
Kyle, where are you calling from?
I'm calling from Austin.
Okay, what's up, Kyle?
I'm actually a somewhat new fan. I've been listening probably a few weeks now,
I'm
but
not gonna hold
I'm
that
a
again.
former Sam Harris fanboy, and I have this like weird desire to like want to go back and like apologize to all the people that like I was unfair to, and I think you were probably one of them. So I don't know why I ever thought he was intelligent now when I look back on it. But I also like have a weird obsession with watching you shit on Dave Rubin. Like that makes me happy. Like every day I'm in a bad mood and I watch you shit on Dave Rubin, it puts me in a good mood.
Well, Kyle, I have to say you sound like a very intelligent man.
Yeah, this is
now, let
someone
me
who's
ask you
really
this.
good.
I want to ask you two things. I want to ask you, one, what was it that you found interesting or attractive or impressive about Sam Harris? And then what was it that made you realize, like, whoa, what?
Well, you know, it was mostly the religious stuff because I used to be religious, and there was a lot of his debates, kind of, you know, in books and stuff like that, kind of turned me into an atheist. And I thought, you know, he is a pretty good debater, but I just thought he was a little bit more intelligent than he was because of those debates. And you know, it's been a lot of things, but over the past like year and a half, I used to listen to his podcast like every episode, but I just started hearing him say more and more stupid shit. And he's so like unbelievably shallow on like everything outside of like three topics. And the thing that just kind of put me over the tipping point was the Charles Murray thing. He like painted all the criticisms of like Charles Murray's book as just, you know, political correctness gone, you know, crazy. And and I'm not, you know, some genius, but it took me like 5 seconds to just Google Charles Murray and see that, yeah, there's a ton of legitimate criticisms of the book. And Sam seemed completely ignorant to any like real criticisms, academic criticisms of it. And I just thought it was like really stupid. Like, you know, if I can get on Google and the first thing I see is an academic criticism, but then I don't understand. I don't understand how you can be this ignorant to like the criticisms of the book, especially considering he's a quote unquote neuroscientist.
Taking me out of context.
Yeah, I don't think it sounds to me like you don't possibly understand what he's saying. But yes, in terms of Dave Rubin, and you know, it's interesting because there's a parallel between what's happening to both their careers. They both are realizing like they're being drawn towards where I'm trying to think of the lushness that exists on the right wing. And because, you know, look, I do basically I'm in the same more or less business as these guys, right? But I entered it more and less for the celebrity part, because frankly, I could have had a lot more celebrity if I had, you know, done Ally McBeal. So I'm not as, I'm a little bit more allergic to going where the cash is. And of course, I think I also have an ideology. I don't think either one of those guys had any type of particular ideology. And they're just finding that I get more clicks, I get more downloads, I get more acclaim, I get more invites if I am like playing footsie with these people. And then the footsie becomes like, hey, it's really more just like sort of mutual rubbing of each other's limbs. And then it sort of grows from there. And the next thing you know, they're shaving each other. And so it's like, this is, I mean, this happens to a lot of people. You know, if you track Dave Rubin, it's exactly that, right? Like he's like fawning over Larry Elder. And I got news for you. Larry Elder, I used to listen to this guy in California, and I sat down with him at the DNC in 2004. He is also another one of these guys who is a huckster. He literally said to Janine Garofalo and I were doing, come on, guys, this is, we leave that stuff on the field. And we just looked at him like, wait, you don't even believe the shit that you're spewing? I was so shocked that like you're willing to put that type of toxic stuff out there and you don't even believe it? I mean, at least Sean Hannity is a lunatic and is driven, he's deep God Squad guy. And so when he's putting this stuff out there, he thinks he's actually doing the Lord's work.
Can I just say real quick, I think the thing with Harris, though, is I think that he might, especially relative to somebody like Rubin, who's obviously purely just an opportunist at best. I think Harris might believe in some of this stuff, but the thing that always bothered me about Harris was that, when he only just did middle school rants about religion, and then had his obsession with Islam, which led him to flirt with all sorts of policies, which of course I know if I say he supported, I'm taking him out of context, blah, blah, blah. The thing that just struck me, though, is that his writing about Islam inevitably leads to embracing Charles Murray. Because if you're so committed to excluding all historical, every other factor besides this incredibly narrow, attempted empirical reading, which isn't really empirical, then that's going to lead to a politics that doesn't ever acknowledge, again, anything historical or anything contextual. And that's the right-wing project in a lot of ways.
Appreciate the call.
Yeah, and I was gonna just one more thing, and I'm gonna let you go. I was just gonna say, do you think how much do you think Dave Rubin and Sam Harris are stupid compared to do they actually believe what they say? Because I honestly can't tell with Dave Rubin if he's that stupid or if he's just shilling.
Oh yeah, no, he's not that bright.
I think Harris is probably middle.
Smart, but I think
Harris is smarter, obviously. But what do we say about Rubin? He's the perfect synthesis of genuinely stupid and genuinely craven.
Yeah, I think so. I think he really is. And
Harris just isn't interested. That's actually the irony of Harris's whole brand, is that he's Mr. Intellectual Inquiry guy, but he's more interested in his little brain experiments than reading a book about anything that falls out of his narrow little purview.
Well, that's because, those thoughts that he has,
yes,
they're like balloons and they're separate from him because of the mindfulness.
Exactly.
All right, bye-bye. Appreciate the call. Hi, folks. Sam Seder here. We still need your help on our Patreon page. YouTube ads have come back, but not nearly as much as we had before. So if you can help us out, any little bit helps. Head over to our Patreon page right at this URL, and you'll help us keep helping you by making videos